It's finally happening. Today is September 26th. At first it may look like a normal day, but something powerful is moving underneath the surface. The moon's alignment tonight is not like the others. It is a breaking point. The change began yesterday quietly, almost unnoticed. But it showed itself in strange ways. Dreams that felt too real, conversations that carried hidden meanings, emotions rising and falling without reason. These were not coincidences. They were signals. The atmosphere was already shifting, pulling you toward the edge of something bigger than you imagined. September 26th is a doorway. The old version of you is falling away, and a new version more awake is ready to rise. After this, nothing will be the same. So stay with me. But first, do 3 things. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and type 999 in the comments to claim the energy. Today, the moon moves into a rare position that has been watched for centuries. In astrology, the moon is not only a light in the night, but a guide for change, marking the moments when life shifts direction. Tonight's movement is one of those key moments. You may notice how certain choices no longer wait in the distance but stand right in front of you. Old paths seem smaller while new ones begin to open, as if something is quietly guiding you forward. The air feels charged with a different kind of clarity, showing what is real and what no longer belongs in your story. This is why September 26th matters. The moon acts as a gateway, inviting you to step into a stronger version of yourself. After tonight, what was hidden starts to reveal itself, and the way forward becomes clearer than before. September 26th is here, and with it comes a shift that has been building quietly for weeks. The moon alignment today acts as a marker in the unseen timeline, where old agreements of the soul reach their point of completion. What once repeated over and over, the same lessons, the same faces, the same endings, now begins to loosen. This date holds the energy of closure, but also of passage. Something has ended and something greater is stepping in. Across the span of lifetimes, contracts are made to guide the journey. Some carry love, some carry weight, but none are without purpose. Today, many of those contracts are reaching their conclusion. That is why emotions have been rising, why memories have returned, why the air itself seems charged with unspoken meaning. It is not random. It is the unfolding of agreements set long before this life, now arriving at their completion point. This shift is not only personal, it touches the collective, weaving individual awakenings into a larger movement of transformation. The stories playing out across the world mirror the inner story, endings that make space for beginnings, closures that prepare for renewal. Every step taken today echoes more loudly than before, every decision shaping the timeline in ways that extend outward, influencing more than can be seen. This is why September 26th matters. Those drawn to this moment are not here by chance. The soul chose to be present now to cross through this doorway with awareness rather than sleepwalking past it. Today is not about waiting for change. It is about realizing that the change has already begun. What rises from this point is a truer version of the self, more awake, more alive, and more aligned with the mission chosen before entering this life. Tonight, the atmosphere carries a charge that cannot be ignored. The moon alignment has pulled hidden emotions to the surface, stirring what has long been kept quiet. Tears may rise without clear reason, or old wounds may echo suddenly through your mind. These are not setbacks. They are purges, the body and spirit working together to clear what no longer belongs to you. Some have described sudden waves of sadness followed by unexplainable clarity. Others find themselves caught between exhaustion and bursts of energy that make the hours stretch differently than before. These shifts are not random. They mark the process of release. Energy once trapped is breaking free, moving through you so a lighter version of your being can take its place. Flashes of the past may visit without warning. Encounters, choices, or even long-forgotten places seem to appear from nowhere, not to haunt you but to remind you of what is complete. Each recollection signals a chapter closing. The purging of these imprints opens space for the new self that is already forming. It is the soul's way of saying the journey is advancing. Anger or frustration may rise quickly, surprising even those who usually remain calm. These surges are part of the cleansing, a fire that clears stagnant weight from the spirit. Do not mistake them as weakness. They are a sign that deeper layers are being released. When the storm passes, clarity often follows, leaving a quiet strength in its place. Even the body may mirror this transformation. Shifts in appetite, disrupted rhythms of sleep, or a heightened sensitivity to sounds and surroundings are all part of the same passage. The alignment has thinned the walls between inner and outer worlds, making every stimulus more alive. Though uncomfortable at times, it is also proof that your energy is stretching into wider space. This is how the transition works. not through ease but through clearing. What rises within is not meant to stay. It is meant to leave. Every surge, every tear, every restless night is a sign of movement. Far from being alone, you are walking a shared path with countless others who are also rising through this passage. September 26th marks more than a date. It is the living threshold where the body and spirit are tuned for the next stage of awakening. The discomfort is not punishment. It is preparation. The purging shows that the old version of you is making way for the new, stronger, truer self that is already waiting to step forward. This moon alignment has opened a passage where hidden truths rise into the light. What was once kept beneath the surface now demands recognition. Fears that seemed resolved may come back, but not to chain you down. They return so you can finally release them. September 26th becomes a mirror reflecting both the strength you carry and the weight you are ready to put down. The alignment presses forward not to harm, but to clear the path for a truer way of being. Karmic ties show themselves most clearly now. Situations that repeat, emotions that echo from the past, or people who reappear unexpectedly all carry a lesson. They are not here by mistake. In older spiritual traditions, this was known as shadow work, meeting the hidden parts of the self and transforming them into wisdom. It is uncomfortable at first, yet it is also alchemy, turning what was once heavy into clarity. Unspoken truths may rise in conversations, and emotions long carried in silence may finally demand a voice. These eruptions are not collapse but breakthrough. The shadow self is not an enemy to be destroyed. It is a guide pointing to places that crave honesty. By listening, by facing what is raw, the doorway of healing opens. September 26th carves out this space, making sure nothing false can survive the crossing. Some experience this as mood swings, an intensity that comes in waves. Others find themselves remembering choices or relationships that shaped them, now appearing with new meaning. The repetition is not punishment. It is a karmic clearing, the soul showing you what still lingers so you can release it. Each acknowledgement is a step out of old contracts that no longer serve. Across cultures, this process was seen as a rite of passage. To enter the deepest stages of awakening, one had to face the shadow honestly. Without this meeting, growth remained incomplete. But by standing with it, the old layers dissolve. September 26th is part of that same rhythm, a night where the shadows turn into teachers and the hidden transforms into strength. This is why the discomfort matters. It is proof that release is underway. The shadow has walked with you long enough. Now it hands you the keys to your own freedom. By facing it, the karmic weight loosens. By allowing it, you reclaim the energy it once held. This moon alignment is not about perfection. It is about truth. What rises now is meant to be freed, not feared. The night carries a current that pulls the spirit forward. What once felt distant is now pressing closer, guiding you toward a higher state of being. September 26th moves like a marker in time, pointing to where the past loosens its grip and a new rhythm begins to take hold. The moon's alignment has set this passage into motion, and it unfolds not only around you but within you. Many discover their intuition sharpening, as if an inner compass has grown louder. Decisions that once caused hesitation now reveal themselves with clarity. This isn't coincidence. It is the natural result of vibrational realignment. When the energy body shifts, the mind follows, the heart steadies, and the path ahead becomes visible. The changes may not be loud, yet they are powerful enough to alter how you engage with every part of your life. For some, relationships take on new meaning. Bonds built on truth begin to flourish, while those rooted in avoidance or false comfort start to unravel. The spirit no longer tolerates what drains it. This release is not punishment, but preparation for greater authenticity. September 26th highlights this divide, asking each soul to choose what strengthens their essence and to let go of what diminishes it. Physical rhythms may also alter. A surge of energy during unusual hours, heightened sensitivity to sound or touch, or sudden clarity during quiet moments. These are markers of awakening. The body is recalibrating to meet the higher frequency the spirit has already embraced. It may feel unfamiliar, but this recalibration is evidence of growth, not decline. This stage has been described in spiritual traditions as an initiation, when the individual is no longer bound by the past, but steps into deeper alignment with truth. The shadow met in earlier stages begins to transform into wisdom. What once seemed like limitation turns into power. This is the essence of alchemy, turning weight into strength, turning fear into guidance. September 26th is not simply a date. It is a threshold. To cross it is to recognize the self as more than thought, more than story, more than circumstance. It is to claim the reality that rises when truth is chosen over denial, when clarity is chosen over comfort. This awakening is not temporary. It anchors the spirit into a new timeline, where authenticity becomes the only language that carries weight. The path ahead is brighter, but not in shallow terms. It is brighter because the illusions have begun to fall away. In their place stands a deeper resonance, one that cannot be shaken. This awakening is both a calling and a confirmation. The time you have been moving toward has arrived. The atmosphere of this age is thick with turning points. People everywhere are beginning to question the invisible agreements that shaped their lives for generations. Something far greater than personal change is happening. It is a shared ignition, a collective heartbeat rising into new rhythm. A spiritual revolution is underway, one that no border, ideology, or authority can contain. It surges through the unseen networks of human connection, binding strangers together in a common momentum toward higher consciousness. Voices are waking with new conviction. Artists create works that shake people awake. Young leaders rise and speak with a clarity that cuts through confusion. Ancient wisdom merges with modern language, not as nostalgia, but as living truth reshaped for these days. Everywhere, small fires of awareness linked together into something that no longer looks small. This is planetary ascension in motion, the lifting of a species from one bandwidth of existence into another. September 26th acts as a symbolic marker in this unfolding story. While the moon moves into rare alignment, the collective grid hums with new signals. This is not about astronomy alone. It is about how billions of human hearts, minds, and choices link together at once, forming a living field. Each personal awakening does not end with the individual. It sends ripples into this greater field like a chord struck on an instrument that vibrates through the entire symphony. No awakening is wasted. No act of clarity insignificant. Communities that once seemed scattered are beginning to find each other. Across different lands and languages, people share similar stirrings as though guided by an unseen synchrony. What looked like isolated awakenings are strands of one vast weaving. The more threads connect, the stronger the design becomes until it cannot be hidden, ignored, or silenced. This is the power of collective shift. What starts in solitude gains strength in togetherness. The awakening of one person may inspire a neighbor who inspires a friend who sparks change in a family, who changes the course of generations. The chain is endless. This is how consciousness expands, not through sudden miracles from the sky, but through ordinary lives infused with extraordinary awareness. Step by step, choice by choice, the collective field begins to lift. Some may ask why the struggle seems heavier now, why so many crises flare at once. The truth is that transformation is rarely smooth. Old structures tighten their grip when new realities approach. But the more pressure rises, the more courage awakens. Cracks in the facade become doorways for light to enter. What looks like breakdown is actually breakthrough. Out of confusion, a new coherence is forming. One not imposed from outside but born within the collective spirit. Spiritual traditions across continents spoke of such moments when timelines converge, when destiny demands acceleration, when the veil of ignorance thins. But this era is not about repeating prophecies. It is about embodying them. Prophecy only matters when lived. And that is what is happening now. The revolution is not theory. It is the daily courage to live awake in a world that profits from sleep. Each person who says yes to their inner call strengthens the bridge others can walk across. Each act of courage becomes a signal that joins with countless others, weaving a foundation for what is rising. And what is rising is not a utopia, not an escape from the human experience, but a deeper embrace of it. Life is no longer to be endured. It is to be expressed in its full spectrum. September 26th is remembered not because the skies alone demand attention, but because people themselves rise to meet what the skies mirror. The alignment above reflects alignment below. Every awakening is a vote cast for a brighter future. And when billions cast that vote together, the world itself shifts. Planetary ascension is not a single event. It is the slow unfurling of a truth too large to be hidden any longer. We stand inside it now, carried by it, reshaped by it. The collective awakening is not coming. It has arrived. And each heart that dares to trust its inner knowing adds fuel to the fire that will not go out. The collective story is accelerating into a chapter unlike any written before. Voices long silenced arising with force, refusing to let history repeat itself. Communities once fractured by division are slowly finding common ground in the desire to live with greater truth. What is emerging cannot be undone because it comes not from leaders or institutions but from the heart of human consciousness itself. This is ascension in its purest form, the lifting of an entire species through awareness, connection, and spiritual courage. Timelines converge as choices multiply. At every moment, people are confronted with opportunities to expand or contract, to awaken or retreat, to share or remain silent. Each choice builds momentum in the collective field. Enough awakenings layered together form a tipping point where the larger story bends in a new direction. That tipping point is closer now than it has ever been. September 26th holds symbolic weight because alignments like this echo into the unseen frameworks that connect human thought. The moon's position mirrors the larger invitation to step into coherence. While one alignment does not determine destiny, it amplifies whatever humanity places within it. Collective frustration echoes louder, but so does collective hope. The field is neutral until consciousness charges it, and consciousness right now is stirring at levels unseen in centuries. Grid activations are not theories of mystics but lived realities. They occur each time people join together with shared intention. They happen when groups meditate, when movements march for justice, when families gather in truth, when strangers unite under vision. Invisible threads link across cities, deserts, forests, oceans, turning individuals into a living network of spiritual electricity. In those moments, the collective grid is strengthened, and as that grid strengthens, planetary ascension is no longer distant prophecy. It becomes daily experience. What unfolds now is not simply survival through crisis, but transformation through awareness. To walk through uncertainty awake is to seed strength into the entire field. To embrace shadow without denial is to teach others how to meet their own. To speak truth without aggression is to model what compassion looks like in practice. Every act of alignment sends waves beyond the person who chooses it. The revolution spreads not only through grand actions but through countless subtle ones, moments of clarity, courage, and tenderness. This awakening is not comfortable. Many are confronted with truths that unsettle their identity, relationships, and ambitions. Yet it is precisely in this discomfort that alchemy works. Old illusions dissolve, making room for the raw clarity that transforms lives. And when enough lives transform, the collective fabric itself changes. Society does not shift because institutions decide it is time. It shifts because people embody a new reality so fully that the old one cannot hold them anymore. The essence of ascension is remembering that no awakening stands alone. Even those who believe their path is isolated are transmitting frequencies into the wider field. Whether through silence or song, meditation or action, grief or joy, they are contributing to the larger orchestration. What rises now is a reminder that connection has always been the hidden truth of existence. The individual is never separate from the collective, just as the collective cannot rise without the courage of the individual. On days like September 26th, the reflection above reminds us that alignment is not only celestial, it is human. It is in the way people begin to trust their inner callings, in the way conversations deepen, in the way strangers recognize each other beyond surface differences. The planetary grid brightens not because stars move, but because consciousness dares to. A spiritual revolution has no headquarters, no leader, no single voice. It emerges through many voices, each carrying a piece of the larger vision. It lives in music that awakens, in art that heals, in words that liberate, in actions that inspire. The revolution is not waiting to begin. It is here, expanding through every decision, rooted in clarity. And as it spreads, the collective ascension becomes unstoppable. What is underway is nothing less than the turning of an age. Prophets of earlier centuries glimpsed fragments of this, but those fragments now find completion in living human lives. We are the generation tasked with weaving prophecy into reality. And though challenges remain, the trajectory is set. A new consciousness is birthing itself through billions of choices, a tide that no wall can contain. The greatest reassurance is this: no awakening is wasted. Every step into awareness, no matter how small, contributes to the lifting of the collective field. Even the quietest moments of truth ripple outward in ways unseen. Each awakening becomes part of the greater song, and the song is swelling louder with every passing day. The planetary ascension is not a far-off dream. It is here unfolding through us, shaping the future in real time. The path forward asks for steady steps, not rushed movements. Wisdom across traditions has always taught that when energy is stirred at great depth, the next act must be deliberate. The Hermetic masters spoke of balance as the true alchemy, reminding that every surge of power is stabilized by stillness. To carry the transformation of this moment, one must move with rhythm, neither clinging to the past nor forcing the future. Ceremonial cultures would often begin such passages by returning to the elements: water to cleanse, earth to ground, air to remind the mind of clarity, and light to reawaken purpose. These are not gestures for ritual alone. They are invitations to live in alignment with nature's intelligence. Placing bare feet on the soil, offering a prayer to the wind, or listening to the flow of a river can attune the spirit more deeply than hours of analysis. Such simple acts are keys left for those who know how to see them. The moon's alignment on the 26th of September marked not an end but a crossing. In Vedic vision, such crossings are known as thresholds where karmic weight begins to dissolve, creating space for the soul to live with less heaviness. This does not mean struggles vanish. It means the way one holds them transforms. A burden once carried with resistance becomes an initiation, a reminder that even challenges are doorways into power. To carry this forward, one must choose attentiveness. Observe the moments when old habits try to reclaim their place and instead answer with a new response. The indigenous elders often taught that wisdom enters through repetition of small acts. How food is shared, how words are spoken, how silence is honored. Transformation is not sealed in grand gestures but in the consistency of simple conscious actions. What matters now is trust in continuity. The shifts underway are not fleeting sparks but the slow brightening of a long flame. Each step taken in awareness roots the awakening deeper into daily life, shaping choices, relationships, and pathways ahead. The days ahead, ask for courage to embody what has been revealed. In Hermetic thought, courage is not loud defiance but the steady alignment of action with inner truth. The greatest power is consistency, the refusal to return to half-truths once clarity has been granted. When the moon unveiled its rare alignment, it offered more than a celestial event. It handed a mirror to every soul ready to see beyond disguise. From the Vedic perspective, such moments unfold as dharma, the path uniquely written for each being. Dharma is not a rigid law but a living current of purpose, always asking to be rediscovered in each decision. When a choice feels heavy, ask not what is easiest but what is most true. That is the thread which leads forward, weaving a life that resonates with both personal destiny and collective awakening. Indigenous traditions often remind that transformation does not belong to the individual alone. Every breakthrough echoes into the wider circle of life. To heal an old wound, to forgive where bitterness has lingered, to speak with honesty instead of silence. These ripple outward in ways unseen. The medicine of one person's awakening strengthens the field for all. The golden thread through all traditions is integration through embodiment, not through ideals written in books but through daily action that honors what has been remembered. The invitation remains: walk forward with steady rhythm, honoring the wisdom rising within, and live as if the transformation has already taken root, because it has. Tonight carries a rare moon event unlike anything in recent cycles. Its influence is subtle yet undeniable, shifting the flow of how life unfolds in ways that cannot be ignored. The currents at work are drawing out the hidden strength, clarity, and purpose that have been waiting for this exact moment to surface. 26th September is a doorway. What has lingered quietly now demands acknowledgement, and what has been held back begins to move forward. Old patterns that no longer serve are unraveling while new alignments, internal, emotional, and spiritual, begin to anchor. Those who have been sensing change are witnessing it ripple through actions, thoughts, and connections around them. Here is the truth. The rare moon event tonight is a signal for conscious emergence. It asks for focus, presence, and intention. The steps taken now will echo long beyond this day, shaping paths in ways that cannot yet be fully seen. Declare it openly. Type "I rise with the shift" and ready in the comments as a statement of alignment and intent. Let it mark a turning, a recognition of the inner power that has always existed but now rises without compromise. Share this moment. Send it to someone navigating their awakening, someone ready to receive guidance and affirmation. The ripple of one person stepping fully into clarity strengthens the field for everyone connected to them. Tonight is not ordinary. The shift is real and the moment to embrace it is here. Trust the rhythm, honor the pull, and allow the rare moon event of the 26th of September to guide the next chapter into motion.